Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Eli.
I'm Jason. And we are the YHWH and the Torah channel. And these guys are silent. So we will continue on. Thank you guys very, very much. Eli, how you doing?
Good.
Are you going to speak for today?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Try.
Just a little bit. We'll try to get on there. Cage, you with us?
Yep.
You guys look like you're worn, torn, just out of bed. Not quite spunky yet. Hopefully we'll get that going here. All right, everybody, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. We are your family. You guys are our family. We appreciate you guys very, very much. And we are into the book of Aḍam and Ḥawwah. And we are in chapter 34 today. Okay, here we go. Verse 1. And on the morning of the 43rd day, they came out of the cave, sorrowful and weeping. Their bodies were lean, and they were parched from hunger and thirst, from fasting and praying, and from their heavy sorrow on account of their transgression. And when they had come out of the cave, they went up to the mountain to the west of the garden. There they stood and prayed and besought Elohim to grant them forgiveness of their sins. And after their prayers, Aḍam began to entreat Elohim, saying, O my Yahuwah, O my Elohim, and my Creator, thou didst command the four elements to be gathered together, and they were gathered together by thine order. Then thou spreadest thy hand, and didst create me out of one element, that of dust of the earth. And thou didst bring me into the garden at the third hour, on a Friday, and didst inform me of it in the cave. Okay, what do you guys make of this, Eli?
Well, he probably didn't say Friday.
Yeah, he probably didn't say Friday.
Probably it's like on the 6th day or something.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't have said a Friday. So there's some obvious translation issues or obvious stuff where man has gotten a hold of this. And there were no such days, right? We have first day, second day, third day, fourth day. And then we have seventh day, which is the day that we are to keep Shabbat. Now, Kate, do you have anything on this?
No, it just said they were really hungry because they haven't eaten. So they're getting to that point where their bodies aren't going to be as strong as it was before.
Yeah, and they're a little withered up, it sounds like. All right. 8. And thy will was that I should name them all, one by one, with a suitable name. But thou gavest me understanding and knowledge, and a pure heart and right mind from thee, that I should name them after thine own mind regarding the naming of them. Now, did we miss something? I think it did. I think I missed a couple up there. Did you guys miss that at all? I got to go back up.
Yeah, it felt weird.
Yeah, it did feel weird because it had 2 Fridays in there, so I just got caught up on that thing because there's 2 Fridays. All right, so we're back up, guys. So let's try this again. So we're at 6 now. Thanks, guys. Kate, are you with me today?
Yeah.
Keep me in line here, will you? Okay. 6. Then at first I knew neither night nor day, for I had a bright nature. Neither did the light in which I lived ever leave me to know night or day. Then again, O Yahuwah, in that third hour in which thou didst create me, thou broughtest to me all beasts and lions and ostriches and fowls of the air and all things that move in the earth, which thou hadst created at the first hour before me of the Friday. And again, the Friday is what threw me off.
All the animals he mentioned lions and ostriches. He must have liked those animals more than the rest.
Yeah, because we know there's a lot of beasts, but yeah, lions are obviously something like a giant kitty. That would have been cool back in the day before they started attacking folks. Okay, 8. And thy will was that I should name them all, one by one, with a suitable name. But thou gavest me understanding and knowledge and a pure heart and a right mind from thee, that I should name them after thine own mind regarding the naming of them. O Elohim, thou madest me obedient to them, and didst order that not one of them break from my sway, according to thy commandment, and to the dominion which thou hast given me over them. But now they are all estranged from me. Then it was in that third hour on Friday, what would be, 6th day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In which thou didst create me, and didst command me concerning the tree, to which I was neither to draw near, nor to eat thereof. For thou saidst to me in the garden, when thou eatest of it, of death thou shalt die. And if thou hadst punished me as thou saidst, with death, I should have died at that very moment. Thoughts, gentlemen?
He's praying, right? He's trying to basically talk to Elohim. He's going over what his entire life has been so far, even in a short span of time, and he's saying that he was merciful that he didn't kill him, that he didn't just get rid of him immediately when he ate it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is he didn't understand what a spiritual death is. And there's a difference between a physical death and a spiritual death. And the spiritual death is what we all are falling under, the curse of the Torah. because we are breaking the Torah. And when we break the Torah, then we are under that curse of the Torah. Okay, where are we at, gentlemen?
I think you're on 11.
Pay attention, everybody.
Yeah. Or 12.
Okay. 12. Moreover, when thou commandest me regarding the tree, I was neither to approach nor to eat thereof. Ḥawwah was not with me. Thou hadst not yet created her, neither hadst thou taken her out of my side, nor had she yet heard this order from thee. Then at the end of the 3rd hour on that 6th day, we should change that to 6th day. O YHWH, thou didst cause a slumber and a sleep to come over me. And I slept and was overwhelmed in sleep. Then thou didst draw a rib out of my side and created it after my own similitude and image. Then I awoke, and when I saw her and knew who she was, I said, this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Henceforth she shall be called woman. It was good of thy will, O Elohim, that thou broughtest a slumber and a sleep over me, and that thou didst forthwith bring Ḥawwah out of my side until she was out, so that I did not see how she was made, neither could I witness. O my YHWH, how awful and great are thy goodness and glory. Yeah, what do you got, Jade?
I don't think awful, it means like awful. I think it's a different kind of meaning there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that is the power of our Creator. When you see thunderstorms out there, you see some awful awesomeness, right? It's stuff that just scares us to a huge degree.
Another thing is, Aḍam went into a deep sleep, right? He didn't know how she was made, so basically he fell asleep. He probably had no idea what was going on. God couldn't tell he was making a helpmate for him, and he wakes up and there's like another person like him standing there. He's probably confused when he saw. He probably got a little scared too because he was like in the garden by himself, nothing there, and then all of a sudden she shows up.
Yeah, well, and this is the very first surgery that we ever that was ever encountered, and it was the very first anesthetic that was ever developed. Yah was able to put him completely to sleep in a part where he opens him up. And, there's miracles in all of this because of the sort that if you had a real life surgery like this, you're not going to be able to just get back up and everything's going to be hunky-dory. You're going to be all jacked up.
Right, I think he'll get back to work, right back to living.
Yep. Okay, 16.
16.
Thank you, Jade. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. And of thy good will, O YHWH, thou madest us both with bodies of a bright nature, and thou madest us two, one, and thou gavest us thy grace, and didst fill us with praises of Ruach HaKodesh, that we should be neither hungry, nor thirsty, nor know what sorrow is, nor yet faint of heart, neither suffering, fasting, nor weariness.
Okay, it said they were made bright, and their bodies were bright in nature. Like, were they glowing?
Nah, I don't know if they were glowing, but I think it's before we fell from a state that we are in, right? We're in a fallen state right now. Nobody knows what they're actually describing. But it was a euphoric, almost a high that these guys were on. That it was perfect conditions that they were in a world of, there was no worries, there was no problems, there was no sorrows, there was no weeds, there was no issues, anything out there, anything like that. So I don't know so much they're glowing, but they might have been glowing because we know that when Moshe came down from talking with Yah, that he had a bright nature, and I think it was in the book of the Nazarene as well, when didn't Messiah glow as well?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's continue on. 17. But now, O Elohim, since we transgressed thy commandment and broke thy law, thou hast brought us out into a strange land, and hast caused suffering and faintness, hunger and thirst to come upon us.
So
now,
they broke the law and they started suffering. That's the same for us. Like, we don't get punished immediately like Aḍam did, but we get punished at the end of our lifetime.
And we are growing up in a fallen state, right? We are in a strange land that causes suffering. We have faintness, we have hunger, we have thirst, right? We have all of that. We are living the curse of our forefather and foremother of the world that they transgressed. And when we are trying to get back to the kingdom to come, that is the power of the kingdom to come. That is the power of the garden. That is what restored state means. And this is why we want to be in covenant with our Creator. We want to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, because when they transgressed, they broke the law. When people transgress today, we are still in this fallen state, but we're trying to get back to the state where it's not a strange land, where there isn't suffering, where there isn't faintness, where there isn't hunger and thirst, and it is a perfect state where we can sit and glorify Elohim all day long and sing praises and hang out with the messengers and hang out with the animals. in a state where they're not trying to kill us. All right, 19. For behold, many days, O Elohim, we have tasted nothing and drunk nothing, and our flesh is dried up, and our strength is wasted, and sleep is gone from our eyes, from faintness and weeping. Then, O Elohim, we dare not gather aught of the fruit of trees, for fear of thee. For when we transgressed at first, thou didst spare us, and didst make us die, didst not make us die. But now we thought in our hearts, if we eat of the fruit of the trees, without Elohim's order, he will destroy us this time, and will wipe us off the face of the earth. And if we drink of this water, without Elohim's order, he will make an end of us, and root us up at once. Now therefore, O Elohim, that I am come to this place with Ḥawwah, we beg thou wilt give us of the fruit of the garden, that we may be satisfied with it. For we desire the fruit that is on the earth, and all else that we lack in it.
So basically, they want stuff back from the garden. They haven't. I don't know. It's been a while since they've had the food, but they're
42 days.
Well, they're hungry at this point. They're really hungry.
Really hungry.
They're really thirsty. I'm surprised they've gone that long without drinking. You know.
It's breakfast time. It's desayuno.
Yeah, and they're definitely gonna be weak. They're gonna be not. They're probably not gonna be able to move much longer.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is they have never had food like this. They have never had water,
and especially without water, that's even like they're definitely dehydrated.
Even though he kind of drowned or he was sucking up water at some point,
yeah,
but they say he didn't have water, so you're not going to live very long. But I do not believe that their digestive system and their system was quite kicked in, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the exact same. They still had a little different than what we have now.
Yep. Okay. 35, verse 1. Then Elohim looked again upon Aḍam and his weeping and groaning, and the word of Elohim came to him, and said unto him, O Aḍam, when thou wast in my garden, thou knewest neither eating nor drinking, nor faintness nor suffering, nor leanness of flesh, nor change, neither did sleep depart from thine eyes. But since thou transgressest, and camest into this strange land, all these trials are come upon thee.
So basically, when you transgress the law, you get trials. You get things that happen in your life that you aren't gonna like.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last chapter, boys. Then Elohim commanded the cherub, and I just went crazy on the screen, who kept the gate of the garden with a sword of fire in his hand, to take some of the fruit of the fig tree and to give it to Aḍam. The cherub obeyed the command of YHWH Elohim and went into the garden and brought 2 figs on 2 twigs, each fig hanging to its leaf. They were from 2 of the trees among which Aḍam and Ḥawwah hid themselves when Elohim came to walk in the garden. And the word of Elohim came to Aḍam and Ḥawwah and said unto them, Aḍam, Aḍam, where art thou? And Aḍam answered, O Elohim, here I am. When I heard the sound of thee and thy voice, I hid myself, because I was naked. Then the cherub took 2 figs and brought them to Aḍam and Ḥawwah, but he threw them to them from afar, for they might not come near the cherub by reason of their flesh, that could not come near the fire.
So he must either like maybe has the fire sword with him, or like he's like radiating a lot of heat, something where it's like they had burned their skin. Something interesting is the angel was allowed to leave his post, right? Where this angel was told to guard the garden, he was told go get some fruit. So he was able to go inside and basically leave the entrance of Eden and just go get some fruit for Adam and Eve.
Yeah, and I guess it would have been real bad if Adam would have made the old football play and rushed right back into the garden. Then the messenger would have looked right behind him, and then that would have been that. 5. At first, messengers trembled at the presence of Aḍam and were afraid of him. But now Aḍam trembled before the messengers and was afraid of them. Then Aḍam drew near and took 1 fig, and Ḥawwah also, and came in, turned and took the other. And as they took them up in their hands, they looked at them and knew they were from the trees among which they had hidden themselves.
So the leaves they had used to like make clothes, whatever, they realized that was this, because I think they had a branch with the fruit on it. So it's like they
2 branches. It sounded like two different trees.
Yeah,
it sounded like.
And he looked at this and he probably gave him a little bit of sadness. You know, you seen that leaves he used.
Yep. And so that was they haven't eaten this now, but they did have some sort of figs, and there's a lot more to the story as it comes down as we read it. But this is also the story, you know, people that say, this isn't real or it's not real. This is the exact same theme that is in scriptures. Obey my laws, statutes, and commandments. I will be your Elohim, and you will be my people. If you don't, then you will be cursed. You will forever be cursed. You will never ever get into covenant with our Creator. And you have all these hundreds of thousands of different religions and people out there. I guess not hundreds of thousands. Brother Glenn says 45,000. I did some research one time. There's like 60,000. But we are able to see that there are so many different flavors of religions out there, and not a single one of them jive with the scriptures. Not a single one of them ever be obedient to the law, statutes, and commands. You have the Seventh-day Adventists, and they keep like one command on about Sabbath, but they don't keep any other commands. We dealt with Seventh-day Adventists before. We had one that lived with us for a long time, and she actually said, "I don't know the Torah. I don't know anything about the Torah." And so, you know, when we are looking through scriptures, and when we are trying to find this road back home, when we're trying to find this garden is everything to us, right? We need to find where this garden is. We want to find where there's no faintness, no stress, none of the stuff that we are seeing in this world. And so the way back home is with the Torah, and that is found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. All right, guys, I think we'll leave it at that. Everybody out there, we love you guys very much. We hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you again tomorrow, Yah willing.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.